Okay, the day gapped below a trend line, and it's a large gap. Normally, the bigger the gap, the more likely you'll have a trend day in the direction of the gap. But as I said, we're at the bottom of a trading range over the past several days, and therefore I'm looking to buy and not short. It could become a trend from the first bar bear, but any shorts for me at this point are just going to be scalps because I'm looking for a failed breakout. If instead I get a breakout pullback, I'll short it, but I'm expecting the breakout pullback to go down and then become a failed breakout and the market will rally. So I'm expecting the market at least to attempt to have a failed breakout and then a rally. So for me, shorts or scalps here. Okay, so these bears are happy. They have close on the low. Now this bar could have been a good setup for the low of the day. I said at the time, if it had no tail or only a one tick tail, I would see that as a possible failed breakout and low of the day. But instead, it gave a 3-tick tail at the top, so I thought that there would be more down. Okay, now we have another doji with even a smaller body. So to me, the low of the day is not necessarily in. It's possible that this could be the low of the day, but a pair of dojis like that, that's not the way a low of the day looks. Low of the days look more like this. An extreme, a quick reversal, no tail or a tiny tail. Okay, so we've got an inside bar. So it's basically a double bottom pullback. This is a double bottom, and here's the pullback, the inside bar. To me, even though this could be the low of the day, I'm only going to be scalping because it's not a convincing low. This does not look like the way the low of the day should look. This am I going to short this gap bar? It's the first gap bar in this bear trend. I'm still thinking the market is going up. We have a double bottom. We have a double bottom pullback with a second entry. We have 4 bars up here. I'm not going to short that gap bar. The day has had a higher high still, and another higher high, a double bottom, which is, you can argue that it's effectively a higher low, another higher low, and another higher low. The day is trending. Even though it's a trading range day, there is a trend going on. Sometimes trends can bend upward, and at some point the bears give up and everyone recognizes it as a trend, and you get a sharp breakout, and then usually you get a trading range day. So I would not be shorting that. Okay, a bull trend bar at the moving average normally is a good long setup, but here this is basically a trading range. I don't like buying at the top of a trading range, so I would not be buying that, although it could work. Okay, 5-tick failure. Now, what about shorting this as a lower high? To me, the day is trending upward. Not a good-looking low for the day, but it could be the low for the day. So now we have a 2-legged pullback. We broke above the earlier wedge, and it's a 2-legged entry. To me, that's not a great-looking entry because, again, you're buying at the top of a trading range. But I'm expecting the day to have a breakout, and most likely the breakout will be upward. So I want to see what the breakout looks like and then consider entering. Breakout bar, no tail at the bottom, 1 tick at the top. That's okay. I would have liked to have seen a larger breakout bar. At the time I said that this just didn't look strong enough for me. I didn't want to short it as a failed breakout, but I wasn't, I would have liked to have seen a bigger breakout bar, and I would have liked to have seen it get up there faster. Normally at this point, I'm flipping to 1 and 2 minute charts looking for high 1s and high 2s. But because of the way this unfolded, I didn't do it, and I missed a great trade. People are obviously buying the closes, and here, look at this. You have a gap between this close and that low. So the bulls were extremely aggressive at that point. You usually don't see gaps, but when you do accelerated buying after the gap, you have to think more about that gap. Okay, we have a measured move up in the area of yesterday's close. To me, I thought this was a buy climax, and I mentioned at the time this gap I thought would be tested. This is an unusual situation. This is way too much all at once, especially with the bars not looking all that big. I thought that this was panic buying, and I thought the market would come down and test this gap, and it did. And the bar fell through the gap, and it had no tail at the top or the bottom, and it was a strong move through the gap. Again, the day's trying to keep higher lows in here. This sell-off is unusual. It's unusual to have 8 or 9 point sell-off after an 8 or 9 point rally. I thought that with the market falling through the gap so violently, the market may now test it from the downside, so I'm looking to buy. Another double bottom with an inside bar pullback. To me, this is a double bottom pullback, a small one. I think it's an okay long setup. Decent looking bar. At this point, I'm looking to short somewhere up in here, but I'll buy anywhere below it. I'm not going to buy a high one unless the market is very strong, and this is just not strong enough. I will buy a high two. Okay, here's a high two setup. I prefer the entry to be above the moving average. You could argue, okay, just buy above this little double top. That's okay too. And then the market accelerated through that gap again. A very quick move earlier through the gap, quick move through the gap down, now up. I'm assuming that the market is so interested in this gap that eventually it's going to form a thick area in the gap. The gap is clearly a very big point of interest. The market's trading below it, above it, below it, above it. I think the market will want to sit there for a while. So I'm looking for a short. Here's a little micro wedge, new high, and the day has had clear trading range characteristics. This, and then up, down, up. So a new high, you have to look to short it. However, that big tail makes me nervous. This inside bar with the doji bar, body in the dead center, big tails top and bottom. I don't like shorting that. And then a second doji bar, just 4 ticks and no body. I think it's good for a scalp at a minimum. I think the market is going to test this, but I don't think that's a great looking setup. However, as I said, the first entry at a new swing high usually works. So here's the swing high, here's the first entry short. Okay, possible trap. Do I want to short below this? No, I think this could very easily be a final flag. The day's been forming higher highs and higher lows. We're right near a trend line. I don't want to short that. However, if it reverses up, I'll look at buying it. It's basically a wedge. There's one push down, 2 pushes down, and working on the 3rd push down. Okay, so a final flag, reversal up. It should be good for at least a scalp and maybe 2 legs. Again, the higher highs all day, higher lows. It's possible the day could put in a higher high, although I assume it's going to have a hard time getting very far from this magnet. Pretty good size tail at the top. The market may come back down to this magnet. It may try to put in a higher high in the day. Now on the daily chart, we are closed well above the bear trend line. On the weekly chart, we have a very strong IOI week and a close above the moving average. I think everyone expects the market to rally to at least test the top of the outside bar. Monthly chart right now, the close is right around, let me expand that, okay? The close is slightly above the open on the month. So what am I looking for Monday? The market is, or actually on Tuesday, the market's closed on Monday. The market broke out of that 60-minute trading range. We closed on the upside. We have a gap over here. I think we could gap up on Tuesday and try to form a large island bottom. So to me, the market is breaking out right now. So come Monday, if the market gaps up here, I think we should be looking to buy a breakout pullback. The best kind of breakout pullback is a 2-legged breakout pullback on a gap up. The entry never looks good, but there's a good chance, I don't know, 60 or 70% chance that you can catch the low of a day that runs up 10 or more points. So on Tuesday, that's what I'll be looking for. All right, well, I hope everyone has a good weekend.